Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Business Owner Spotlight. And we are highlighting the ladies of Las Vegas and really just identifying our leaders. And so today I have Ashley with me, and we are going to kind of just discuss some different things of how insurance really affects you, what could be the benefits, what are some things that maybe we haven't thought about, and also how does that tie back into our community. So, welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, thank you. So, yes, so tell me more just about your business, what got you involved in it and what is kind of your main focus with that?
Awesome. I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur from when I was little and just didn't know like what industry. I got the generic business degree, tried to figure out what I wanted to do, did sales, did customer service. Um, but a longtime family friend mentor said, "Hey, you really need to get into the insurance industry." And I'm thinking, it's boring, it's non-glamorous. Why would I want to do this? And I love helping people. My family are all teachers and I love to teach and educate. But at the same time, I was like, I love kids, but I don't want to be in a class full, I don't want a classroom full of them.
Yeah.
So I said, I could learn and I could really understand it. And I'm protecting and helping people still. And the way I like to provide my services is from an education base. So I want you to understand what you have and explain what you have so you have a better understanding after our meeting. And then you can leave and just know that you used a professional and you used somebody and you're walking away from the meeting feeling protected and good, but you don't have to retain or remember anything. So that when something happens, you can call me.
Yeah.
But I just want people to understand a lot of people like to just go online and get their insurance. And unfortunately, it doesn't give the best description. And, we're all price sensitive to
Mhm.
a certain point, but there's also, when you have assets involved and you need protection of your family and you went from the single life to a family to owning a home to all that stuff, there's a lot more entailed. And a call center with minimum wage employees
Mm.
or, an online platform doesn't really paint that right picture. And I've seen it all too well. And we, read articles every day of, things happening. They are called accidents for a reason. So,
Yeah.
I really am passionate about helping people. And this was my channel. And I've been doing it for almost 15 years and I absolutely love it. So I know I hit my calling.
Oh, I love that. And, that kind of just leads into a really great question of what do you find is one of the most misunderstood facts or just pieces of your industry?
If I hear I just need 15 minutes to save you 15% one more time, I'm probably going to lose my mind. I appreciate the I appreciate the catchiness. Um, but it's not about that. And it's not I still have competitive rates and can give you way better service. It's not about the money. It is, we all are price sensitive, like I said before, like to a certain standpoint, but they don't get to know you. They don't get to when you use call center and online platform and you're rushing through something that could protect, your assets that
Mhm.
you own a home. That's probably one of the biggest assets you can own.
Yeah.
Some people on average $300,000 to $500,000. You're protecting that by yourself without being licensed to just reading questions and making sure they're
Yeah.
right. So, I understand to a certain standpoint, and insurance isn't fun. It's not glamorous. Nobody wants to deal with it unless you have to.
Mm.
But that's why you have us. And I'm a broker, so I do the shopping for you. I get to do all
Mm.
the dirty work. We don't have fees. We make our money from our carriers. So at the end of the day, my job is to earn your trust and your business by shopping and finding coverages that fit what you need while
Nice.
being price, alert to the price. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure you have proper protection first, and then we can see where you're at price wise.
Nice. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like business owners and entrepreneurs, what conversations do you kind of see, like what is like the theme with that, of like either what are they looking for as far as coverage, or maybe is there something that you always are kind of like shining a light on that they are not aware of before they speak to you? What does that look like for you?
When it comes to like commercial and business insurance, I love getting to know business owners. I love learning how their business operates, what they do. And that's all needed when you do insurance reviews. And that's the part that I like geek out on. I'm like, what's the structure? How's it set up? How do you do things? Um, and so we really dive into all of the aspects of your business because at the end of the day, we're just in a really litigious society. And one little thing, I had a nail salon who nipped, uh, on accident, of course, somebody's cuticle,
Mm,
and it got infected. And they had enough medical protection because they had no loans on their business. It was all owned cash. So luckily, we had the proper coverage in place
mhm.
to protect them, because a lot of people just they don't they go straight to a lawyer, which is fine when necessary, um, and those lawyers come after the insurance companies and their insurance policy. And
Yeah.
in the end, they don't know what's going on the background with all the litigation and everything. So at the end of the day, you just want to make sure that you're covered.
Mhm.
Um, we have a situation where the client was the prospect is brought to us. They own a bar and somebody left their bar. I don't know the specific details or how it got handled within the claim, because they weren't our client at the time. Um, their patron left their bar, got behind a wheel,
Mm.
and had some massive bodily injury, and their insurance company paid out $1 million on a settled claim. And now to find somebody to insure them is extremely difficult.
Yes.
So there's little things that we also look at. We also help our business owners with, risk management. So
Mm.
what can we do to help assist you to avoid massive claims?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that we review and talk about once we get to know you and how your business operates. That's a lot of fun for me. Like that stuff is enjoyable. And same from the personal standpoint.
Mhm.
There's claims that happen if you have a pool. We recommend, even though it's your private home, to have signs up in the backyard about no diving or how deep the pool is. Because if you do have friends over and they trip and fall or get in it, that can actually help in a
Huh.
situation you know, if a claim
Mhm.
is being handled. So it's not a requirement to have up on your home. You wouldn't think so, but it helps when it comes to the claims handling and any lawsuits that occur.
Yeah, and I think, that's a good point too, because those are things that I know I've never thought of. I have thought of a lot of things on, the professional side, but again, that's, why we have professionals that we go to as the expert. And because, as the business owner, we aren't going to know everything. We aren't going to be the
Mhm.
expert at everything. We're going to be an expert of what our business is, right?
Exactly,
And
exactly.
so it's especially when it comes to risk management, and I know for myself as well, there are a lot of things that you don't think about of, oh,
Mhm.
I don't know how that would play out, or I don't know if,
Right.
if I was in that scenario. And I think a lot of it too, and we've talked about this before, of sometimes you don't want to think about those worst case scenarios, but
Mhm.
unfortunately, we really should, do our own due diligence to really look into it and then plan for it. So,
Exactly. And
yeah.
we see, being in the insurance industry, I see the claims happen daily. I
Mm.
see them come in. It's not that I'm making them up,
Yeah.
so it's just a matter of, I got to tell you worst case scenario. You don't ever think it happens to you, but these other people don't think it
Yeah.
happens
And
to them
hopefully it
either.
doesn't.
And hopefully it doesn't,
Yeah.
but it's one of those, it just takes one time. One incident
Mhm.
can wipe your hard earned sweat equity out of that business, out of your home. One incident can change, can essentially alter your life. So we want to avoid that. And we
Yes.
can still do it in a cost effective and proper way of having the right tools in place to help
Yeah.
you.
Yes. I like that. So for you, what would you say is one of your biggest challenges that you are facing in your role, and how are you tackling that?
kind of what we chatted about, honestly, is sometimes I think the insurance industry gets a bad rap, almost kind of like a car salesman. Um, we're here to tell you and help you,
Mm,
and we truly care, but we do see the claims and we do see things happen. And so people sometimes don't want to spend the money, or they hear the horror stories about, the media puts out there, the few and far between
yeah.
claim situations that they don't pay out.
Mm,
They've also talked to neighbors and friends who had issues with their carrier because things weren't, their insurance company denied the claim. So now we get a bad rap, but they just didn't have the proper coverage because they wanted to save the $50
yeah.
or, things like that. So I think it's just trying to earn that respect
Mm,
as licensed professionals in our industry and what we do. Um, you know, I always tell people everybody should have a personal umbrella policy, or
mm,
almost everybody with you own a home. Um, and I tell people, I'm like, on average, it's like $300. I'm only
yeah.
making $30 on this. I'm not selling it to you to go home and make millions.
Yeah.
Like, I would have to sell a lot of these.
Not gonna get me there.
Not happening. But then they go to their, lawyer, and their lawyer says you need it. So now they listen to their lawyer. So,
Mhm.
um, I think within any industry, some people are jaded or had bad experiences. So, I think uh, that's probably the biggest hurdle that I deal with is we
Yeah.
truly care. And, I get some people don't, and they're just trying to make money, but
Mhm.
I think you can easily weed through those
Yeah.
people that, are quick just wanting to do this for the money, and people who actually spend time and listen,
Mhm.
on that end.
Yeah, and I think, to the point that you had mentioned earlier, it's because there is so much and we as consumers are just so inundated with information and it's just all over the place. And so it really is by education of okay, how can we know, where to go to? And I think, what you do well is it really is like building those relationships because that does make the difference. I mean, anybody can go online, right? But
Yep.
it's when you meet somebody and you connect with them and so then, it's building that trust of, oh, okay, I want to hear more. Please educate me.
Yeah.
Please tell me more about what I should
We
be
really
doing,
do
what I'm not.
care. Like,
Yeah.
I love it. I really care. And there's nothing better. I know I mainly do personal lines and commercial lines, but probably one of the best parts of my career was handing a life insurance check to one of my really good clients' kids because he
Mm.
passed away. I had even sold them the life insurance policy
Oh,
like 5 years prior. And as sad and morbid as that is, that was probably one of the highlights of my career is I got to take care of the kids and hand them money who's grieving and going through
yeah.
this really rough process. And I got to take a little piece of
Mm.
that away from them, of that stress. Um, it really, that probably was, I get goosebumps now because it's probably one of my
Yeah.
favorite things to do. And
Mm.
I know it was not under the best circumstances, but
Yeah.
it validated I am doing what my calling is, and I'm doing the right thing, and I'm making sure that my clients truly are properly protected.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
And really
Yeah.
that's I mean, again, we've connected for very specific reasons. And it
Yes.
really is because it's we have the passion for things and
Yes.
serving our
Exactly.
communities and wanting to improve, their quality of life and beyond. And so really with that in mind, what I love about this series specifically is really, again, like highlighting the leaders. And so when it comes to leadership, what does that mean for you?
For me, I think I've just always been a natural born leader, but I just, I've lived my life with integrity, and I'm a hard worker, and I just lead by example. I just go out there and do the right thing. Um, I like to help people who aren't even my clients. I like to, you just set the right example. And
Mhm.
I'm a big, big fan. I even wrote my senior high school, years and years ago, paper about Coach John Wooden.
Ah,
And character is, I'm going to totally butcher the quote, but character is essentially what you see behind closed, like you don't see it. It's
mm,
done behind closed doors. And knowing I should have it memorized by now, but it's been so long, but it's just ingrained in my head. You always do the right thing. You always just operate, the right way. And, my business has been built strictly on referrals. We really haven't done anything, um, marketing dollars wise. And I think that says a lot for itself is,
Mhm,
you just have a lot of people that that have trusted us,
mhm.
but then at the same time, like I follow through with it. So, um, to me, that's just always been how I've lived my life, and I think that's has shown on that end. So,
Yes.
I just put my head down and work hard, and I think the true colors come out, on that end.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I would agree for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes. Well, again, thank you so, so much for
yeah.
just spending some time with me today
Thanks
and
for having me.
getting to hear a little bit about, what you do. And I'm very excited to get to know you more and just see what
Yes,
magic we can
absolutely,
make together. So
absolutely. Thank you
thank
so
you so
much.
much. All right. Bye, Ashley.
Bye.
Okay.